All right, so we got the notification to replace the filter. It's been 20 days is what we have it set for. And going to go ahead and do that on this unit. This is a train. I don't even know what it is, but replacing filters is usually pretty easy. This one you have to actually take the bottom panel off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Take that panel off, pull this out, and then take a look at it. Yeah, that's dirty. That's definitely dirty. Let's compare it to one of the new ones we have here. Just a little bit different. Sorry, that way. Just a little bit different. So you can see all that dust. Now, when all that dust and debris gets in here, it makes it very hard for your system to pull the same amount of air through. What'll happen is it won't be able to keep up with heating or cooling. You can actually, in the summertime when it's air conditioning is going, if this gets too plugged, not enough air is actually flowing over the coil, and the coil can freeze because it needs something. It needs the air to flow through it when it's really cold to be able to draw that cold air out, or that the cold refrigerant out. And if it doesn't, it will actually just ice up the coil. Don't ask me how I know. Don't ask me. But that's how that works. So you can see the difference. This is only 20 days, and these filters are 30-day filters, but you can tell another 10 days and that would have been even worse. And don't do the whole like, oh, I could still see through it. Actually, you can see this. Come here. So yeah, you can look through that. People are like, oh yeah, I could see through it. Don't do that. Look at it this way, because that's a much more accurate picture. And you can go in here and peel out the fuzz on some of this. See, like that. And if you want a good comparison, we have it. When we had to wear masks all the time, just put a pile of dirt on your mask and then try to breathe through it. And that's pretty much what your air conditioning unit or furnace unit is doing. Pretty disgusting, huh? Definitely not something you want to do. So just think about it that way. All right, so we're going to put the new one in. I didn't pay much attention as I pulled this one on. I just pulled it out real quick. But there's always this airflow on these filters, and it's because there's a reinforced mesh, usually that goes on the backside, and this is meant to blow through this way, and that prevents any issues. You see this is soft material, so that just reinforces it, and that's why it's important to go a certain way. So you always want to pay attention to that. Now, as far as on a unit, this unit blows air up. This is the fan, blows it up that way. That's the supply side, and this is the return side. This is where everything comes in. So we know that the air comes in, and this is what I always do. I always visualize it. So the air comes in this way, flows over, and then up. So because the air flows up, that means that this has to be pointing up in this unit. Sometimes they'll put the, sometimes you'll have a place for the filters in the return. In that case, it'd be turned down if it was over here because the air is flowing down. So you just kind of visualize the airflow. So I'm going to go ahead and have this pointing up. Just slide it in here. It's that easy. Move this. And there you go. So this thing just sensed that I put this back in and it's turning itself on, going through all this stuff. I'm going to go over to the thermostat, reset the timer, and I'll show you how that timer is set. Definitely something you should do. All right, so the reason that we knew to go change the filters, we have this reminder set on the thermostat. If your thermostat has this function, we definitely want to use it. You can record things in a calendar, paper calendar, or on your phone, but let's be honest, changing the filters is not something you're ever going to think about. So again, don't ask me how I know. So we set this up with a reminder to replace the air filter. We've just replaced it. Gonna go ahead and click on that, and then reset the timer because we've done it. And all it does is it counts the days. And in this system, we can go take a look at that. And preferences, reminders, air filter. And this is set for 20 days. All systems are different, so it's going to be a different screen. Just showing you here. This furnace is on. It's been running since I've been here. It's also the dirtiest. So this one has run a lot. Those three have not. Another thing to look at. I believe it's because the thermostat up here, is on the ductwork, and it's running. It reads cooler than the others. Going to need to address that as well. So anytime you see something like that, just don't ignore it. Just be like, okay, this one's dirty. These three are not. Let's figure out what's going on with that. So, but I'm going to put this filter in. So right now it's running unfiltered, and you'll see you can change it with the filter running or with the furnace running, but you'll see how that rolls. Pretty good suction going through there. Obviously, we're very limited by the dirty filter, but that's good to go. Swap this out. Done. Easy. Airflow pointing with these. Again, return air comes down and over, so we want arrow pointing in, which is the same as down. And these you want to make sure they sit. There's really not a really good ledge on the bottom. You just want to make sure that they don't get sucked in and they're sitting the way they should, or all the way around. Airflows this way. So do that. If you can see what I mean here, see how this folds in? You can see that on the camera. That's not where we want it. This has to be at the outside edge like this, so it doesn't do that. That's what you got to watch for on these. And just make sure that it's there. You don't want it sucking in. The filter's useless at that point. So you just have to balance it out. This goes on top of this one, and it helps hold it down. And this just slides. Done. Replacing the filter. It's really simple on this one. It's a 20 by 24. You always have to think about how the airflow goes. So on this one, return air. Return air down, over, and up the supply side. So arrow down, that's the flow of the air. Airflow, that down. Put it in there. Good to go. Should be marking when the filters are replaced, and should be a routine schedule. At least quarterly they shall be checked. Building hasn't really been used, so quarterly is fine. It's been used, but not the way it has in the past. So depending on usage, even if you just spot check it once a month,